Hi, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Come to you this afternoon. I wanted to do my May wrap-up and let you know a little bit about what I ended up reading in the month of May. And then in the next video, I'll do a June TBR list. But I thought I had a pretty good month in reading. It was all right. I completed 8 books. I did 4 nonfiction and 4 fiction. It was a total of 2,197 pages of reading, almost 2,200 pages. So I thought it was an all right month. I probably could have done better. I was distracted by quite a few things, just varying things between school and getting stuff done around the house and, just various things. So probably didn't get done nearly as much as I wanted to, but I did get some done. So anyway, let me show you what all I got read this month. And when I show these, they are not going to be in the order that I read them. So I'll go ahead and start off with the one book I don't have in the pile is Wild Bill by Clavin. It was a book about Wild Bill Hickok, and it did a little bit of the history of the West and followed Wild Bill from when he was younger growing up into his youth in the Civil War, and then all through his stints in law enforcement and just doing various things around the West. Thought that was an excellent book. I learned a lot of things about him. I'd never read anything about the Wild Bill, and I haven't read a whole lot about the West, to be honest. And I didn't realize how many people he was in contact with while he was alive. It was a pretty impressive bunch of people that were in contact with him. So that was one book that I had read. That was 335 pages, and I actually did the audiobook on that one. So I guess I can't claim to have read it, but I'm gonna put it in the stack anyway. The next book that I got was The Political Life of Abraham Lincoln, Self-Made Man, 1809 to 1849, and this was a good book. It did a lot of stuff with the context of the political stuff going on around Abraham Lincoln when he was younger. I probably would like to have seen it talk more about Abraham Lincoln, because that's kind of what I was expecting, but it did a good job of explaining John C. Calhoun, Henry Clay, Stephen Douglas, just various people, Winfield Scott, I'm trying to think of some other ones, just various people of the time period when Abe Lincoln was younger. And it built up the time period. It really put you right there with Lincoln and what he would have experienced, and so I'm hoping that the next 2 volumes will really do a little bit more with centering around Lincoln. I don't know. That's my hope, but it was good. Just wasn't what I expected. So this was a 556-page book from Simon & Schuster. Next book on the list, the one that I finished most recently, was John Keegan's The American Civil War, Military History. This was I thought a good story, or a good wrap-up summary of the Civil War. Did it in 396 pages, so under 400 pages. It stuck primarily to just the military stuff, just like the title says. And I did do a book chat on this one, so I'll put the link to that in the description, and you can listen in on some of the different things that I learned from this. So that was one. And then here's some John Grisham. This was his new one that came out, Camino Winds. I like that book. It didn't take me but a couple days to read that. Probably could have read it faster if I really wanted to. But this takes place on Camino Island, and a hurricane comes in, and the book dealer, and his name is Bruce Cable. He owns a bookshop, and Grisham had already done one book, Camino Island, that talks about Bruce Cable and his bookshop and some of his illegal activities he used to be in. Well, this one is actually a murder mystery. So we get a murder in the middle of the hurricane, and him and several writers are trying to figure out who done it, and it was a good book. It was one of those books that's just good for an afternoon read. The next one that I read, and this was the most recent fiction, was another John Grisham, Playing for Pizza. This was pretty much an afternoon, could have been an afternoon read. I spread it out over a couple days, but it's a quick read, and it's about the NFL quarterback Rick Dockery, who's a third-string quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and he's in the AFC title game with the Browns, and they have a really good chance of going to the Super Bowl, first time in I don't know if it was for first time ever or first time in forever, but he ends up blowing a lead in the fourth quarter, and he becomes the GOAT. And so anyway, he has to leave the NFL. Nobody will sign him, and again, he's just a third-string quarterback, but nobody is willing to take him on. He's kind of floated from team to team, and so this is a book that's really about a guy trying to find his self-identity and wondering should his career be over or not. And so he goes and plays in Italy, and so we get a good taste of what the Italian culture is like. And he plays for the NFL of Italy, which is like a third-rate league, but it's a bunch of guys who play for fun, play because they love the game, and it was just a good read. We get to find that Rick Dockery, who's had girlfriend after girlfriend, finally finds a woman he likes and could possibly fall in love with. He finds a team that he's fallen in love with, and so we get to go on that adventure with him. The next one on the list is by Barry Lopez. This is The Rediscovery of North America, and this is a nature book. Barry Lopez takes it from, and it's a really, really short. It's more of an essay. It was 57 pages, but as you can see, it's very wide margins, very large print. So this was like an hour's worth of reading, maybe an hour and a half, but it was really quick. But it talks about Columbus and what the Spaniards did when they came here, and then followed by the other Europeans, and how the environment has been stripped and everything, and the natives have been stripped, and what we possibly could do to maybe try to fix that. And if you're not doing anything, then you're part of the problem. And so this was an interesting essay. I dipped my toe in the science fiction realm and read H.G. Wells's The Time Machine. And I did a book chat on this one as well, and I'll put that link down below. This was a very, very interesting story about the time traveler. He goes back he doesn't go back in time. He goes to the future, actually, and he learns how to time travel, goes to the future, and sees that the human race is split into two subgroups. And it's really a book about not just time travel itself, but it's a book about just the rich versus the poor in society in general, and what industrialization has done to the human race, and what it's going to continue to do if something's not done. So this was a pretty interesting book that, again, another small one. It was only 141 pages. And the good thing about this one, I originally said I'd like to see it longer, but the more I thought about it, it's probably good that it wasn't, because it got me thinking and creating questions and what ifs and stuff like that. And so it was really, really interesting. I really liked that. This one actually led me to asking some of the booktubers about what are some good science fiction reads, because maybe I should dip my toe a little bit further in the pool on that. And then I also read a detective novel, The Fifth Grave by Jonathan Latimer, and that was just a fun read, all about a detective who's trying to solve the girl's going to be murdered, and he's trying to prevent that from being happen. There's supposed to have been another murder. It's about there's a cult, a religious cult that he's dealing with, and everybody's involved, and the economy's all based around this religious cult, and so nobody's willing to shut it down, and it was just a fun read. It was, again, a short one. It was 159 pages, but I enjoyed it. Some of these aren't going to win any any Pulitzers, but they're still good. They're still good. So anyway, that is my May wrap up. That's what I got read in the month of May. Again, it was 8 books, 2,197 pages, 4 fiction, 4 nonfiction. One of them is not in the stack, but yeah, BookTube, that's what I got done. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.